Hi everyone, welcome back to the Ellinesscrafts channel. For those of you that are joining me for the first time, my name's Lorraine and I'm coming to you from Kent in the UK. And for those of you that are returning, thank you so much for coming back to spend some time with me. So today I have some cross stitching and some knitting and a little bit of tapestry to share with you. So I'm pretty short on time today, so I'm going to try and get through as much as I can fairly quickly. I have quite a few finished objects. Hopefully, if you have seen my Instagram, you'll have seen, or you'll know that I have quite a few finishes that I have completed in the last week or so. I have some new things to show you also. So let's get straight into finished objects. So the first finished object, I think I'm going to start with cross stitch projects, and they are finally finished objects. I think that's what they call. They're FFOs. I have a couple of FFOs that I want to share with you. The first one is Deck the Halls by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I think last time I showed you I had just done the grey backing. I just put it on a piece of what do you call this, adhesive board, and what I've done is I've basically just cut another piece of adhesive board and stuck it to the back, covered it with fabric, and I've attached a little hanger. Nothing I haven't done anything extraordinary. I'm really not good at finishing things in this way. I'm not a very decorative person, I guess. I tend to just finish something and that's how it's gonna be. So I'm not that good at putting all the little finishing touches, but I've got this far. The back of it looks like this. The glue did dry. I did use glue instead of lacing, and I'm starting to realise that I probably should do a bit of lacing with my cross stitch projects, and it will make a much neater finish. But and I did see Tina, what's her, Fancy Lady Cross Stitch, Tina, she showed a finish and she just used felt and glued felt to the back, and that looked like such a neater finish. So I'm thinking about doing that in future. Instead of using fabric, I might just get a bit of felt and glue it to the back, and hers looked a lot neater. But this is what I've done. So this is Deck the Halls by Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and that's how I finished this one off, and I'm really pleased with it. I gave a lot of info in the last video on stitch count and all that sort of stuff. So check that video out if you want more information, or I've also put information on my Ravelry page about this piece, so check that out as well. As always, if you cannot access Ravelry or you don't want to use Ravelry and you would like information, then please contact me using the description, the comment section below the video, and I will do my best to give you as much information as you need on the projects that I'm working on or have worked on. So don't be afraid to just ask me for information in the comment section, and I'll do my best to get that information to you if you don't use Ravelry. So that's the first fully finished object. Then I have this one, which I did a while ago. This was by Historical Sampler Company, and what was it called? Gosh, I can't remember what it was called now. But it's by a Historical Sampler Company. It's the first sampler I did, and I finished this off, and I was going to turn it into a cushion, but then I had some canvases that I was going to use for diamond painting projects, and I didn't actually use them, and I just tried it on one of the canvases and it actually fit really nicely. So that's what I've done. I've just attached it to the canvas, so all I've done is tuck it in at the back. No stitching needed, no glue, nothing. I've literally, the canvas comes with little wooden wedge pieces, and I've just wedged the fabric, the excess fabric, in behind the canvas, and it's finished and ready to hang. All I need is a canvas hanger, and that's good to go. So if you're like me and you're not really good at finishing things off and prettying and nicing things up, then canvas is a good way to finish off a finished object. This I think was done on 16 count, and I really enjoyed doing this one. This one I finished this about two videos back. The last finally finished object I have is my tapestry project. So I've showed you a picture on my Instagram if you watched that, and last time on the on my video I had been working on the background of the cushion, and this is my finished cushion now. So I'm really pleased with it. I really love the way that I can just, it's a bit of fluff, oh that looks like it needs tucking in. Just noticed that, a little bit of a glitch there. I love the way that this worked out. The basket weave stitch really works nicely. I think my stitches look quite even on this using the basket weave, and apparently it produces a much sturdier piece of fabric. So if you're into tapestry or you're trying to give tapestry a go for like big chunks of colour, I would definitely recommend having a go at the basket weave stitch, which you can find, where was I finished my Bumblebee tapestry cushion. As I was saying, the basket weave stitch is a really good stitch to use for the background when you're using big chunks of colour, I found, and you can find videos as to how to do the basket weave stitch on YouTube. I can't refer you to a specific video because I think I watched a few of them and I can't remember what they were now, but I did find them helpful, and I do think that that really helped me to get through the background pretty quickly. For the back of the cushion, I've just used a cushion back, the same as I did with the flamingo cushion that I found on Amazon. It's a Vivako cushion back, and it comes, it's just a piece of fabric with a zip in. It's got, it's stitched around the edges to stop fraying and stuff, and all you do is stitch it to the back of the canvas. And I used my sewing machine to attach the cushion back to the actual cushion, and it went through. I did go quite slowly with the sewing machine so that it wouldn't break the needle because the canvas is quite thick, but I actually went about one stitch in on the tapestry and stitched in the holes, I guess, so it worked quite well. It was quite easy this time around because I knew what I was doing, and I think it's produced quite a nice neat finish. The edge is quite neat. Obviously if you're someone that likes to pretty things up, again, likes to put frills and stuff around things, then you know you can do your little additions around the edges and make it look even more charming than my one does. But I'm not really good at finishing things like that, so that is what I've done. I'm really pleased with it, and I'm actually thinking about doing another one, but I want to finish some more projects first. But that is my Flight of the Bumblebee by Bothy Threads tapestry cushion, and I'm really pleased with that one. So moving on to finished objects, I have, as you can see, I'm wearing the Puster Bloom wrap, which is the dandelion wrap. Do I have the pattern? I've been working on it for a good while, and it was by Woolen Berlin, it says, but that's the pattern. Free pattern on Ravelry, and I am really pleased with how it's turned out. I managed to finish it. I had a recommendation actually in the comment section last time round, which was really helpful, and that was from Alison, so thank you Alison, because while I was trying to finish this up, I really wanted to get to the end of the ball and finish working on it. And as I said in my last video, I was working away, and every so often I would find that I'm losing stitches, or my stitch count goes off or something. And Alison reminded me that I should be using stitch markers for a project like this, because the stitch markers, you can place them at intervals, so each time the pattern repeats you put a stitch marker, so you don't have to really be paying too much attention, but you can quite easily identify if you've lost a stitch or not in each pattern repeat section on your stitches. And so I took Alison's advice, I started to use stitch markers, and yes, it worked a treat. I mean, I can't understand why I didn't think of that myself. I'm not a beginner knitter, but it just didn't occur to me to just pop in the stitch markers and work like that. So thanks so much for that, Alison, that really did help me. And this is what it looks like. So you've seen this before. That's the patterning of the wrap. I've done it quite long, So it goes around my neck, and then you can see it's just above my knees really, because I wanted it to be long enough that I could kind of wrap it around. Maybe like I could use it as a scarf, for example, like this, and still have enough length in the front, or I could use it as intended, which was when I'm wearing a nice party dress, just have it around, drape around my shoulders and just hang like that and look really delicate and pretty. So that is it. So yeah, I just bound off using a normal just the ordinary cast off. I didn't do anything special for it, but I'm really pleased that it's finished. And much as I'm happy that I don't have to knit on it again, I would love to have another one in a different colour, or to make another one to give to somebody else in a different colour. So who knows, you may see me do another one of these, because I think it's really pretty. I've got so many positive comments on the YouTube and on Instagram about this particular wrap. It is very lightweight, it is so delicate and pretty, and I think I'm really going to enjoy using this when we do get a chance to go out and socialise a lot, you know. So yeah, so that's the Puss to Bloom wrap. Then I also have my Positivity Rules finish. So I think I showed a bit of this on my Instagram. So this was by Caterpillar Cross Stitch, the design. It was a stitch along, and it's now complete. That's what it looks like. I stitched this on 32 count Zweigart, and it's a pink colour, and I used all DMC colours, and it is stitched 2 over 2, yeah, 2 over 2, because it's an even weave type fabric. So yeah, that is what it looks like. The last time I showed it on the video, I think this bit was missing, so the door wasn't on, this wasn't on, and that wasn't on. We were here, and so I've just added the door, fun, and I think it's positive, yeah. And I noticed, strangely enough, right at the end, I thought it was really weird that right at the very end of this stitching this piece, I realised in the very end section, the very last part is what I'm trying to say, I realised that my T in Grateful was slightly off. I missed a stitch either side, and so all of the stitching down here is off because of that one letter. Now, there was no way I was going to be ripping it back and redoing from the beginning, but this was the very first bit that I worked on. This was part 1, so how I didn't notice that I'd made a mistake on part 1, I don't know, but yeah, I made a mistake way back on part 1, and it actually affected the placement of stitches and stuff on the lower section. So my door is slightly off, and you know, fun and positive are slightly off. But you know what, I said to myself, at the end of the day, when this is hanging on the wall in a frame or whatever way that I choose to display this, nobody, including me, is going to see that mistake. I don't think I'm even going to remember that I made a mistake in the stitching on this. So I think the only thing I'm going to get from this is the message that it's conveying, that we should all be grateful, have patience, be kind, etc. So, you know, I don't think that I think it'll just make it unique, if anything. But I'm really happy with that. That was my first ever stitch along, and my first ever 32 count fabric piece that I've stitched on. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy. I've just got to figure out how to display this and not rush. So yeah, so I'm pleased with that one. So that's the Positivity Rules stitch along finished. I also finished I showed you this last time. I was just starting this. This is the Merry Christmas sampler by Little Dove's Designs. Now I'm going to show you this and explain in a second. So what I've done, I've finished this completely now, and I've been waiting to show you this for so long. I didn't want to share the whole piece on Instagram because I didn't want to spoil the surprise. I had literally in my last video done this section here and that was it, and then I got so hooked on working on this that I finished the whole thing. And the thing is, what I find with the samplers is that because everything is done in little boxes, as I explained in my last video, I feel like I have little mini finishes, and that kind of spurs me on. So I would do this box first, and then I would work down, and I did Merry Christmas, and then I did the holly section, and then I did the snowflake section, and I would just do each box. I would do a box in a day maybe, put it down, do another box. This one probably took a little bit more time because of the French knots and the colours, because there's quite a few colour changes, but yeah, I would do each little section at a time, and they felt like little mini finishes, and that really did excite me. It really spurred me on. I was really pleased with that. The snowflakes on here, on this section, I read on the pattern could have been done as French knots, but there was no way I was going to do all of these little snowflakes in French knots, because I found it difficult enough to master these. I don't know if you can see, some of the eyes are literally bulging out on here because I couldn't quite master the French knots for the eyes. But I kind of, after playing with them a while, I think by the time I got round to these two little snowmen's eyes, I actually figured out, hang on a second, this is how you're supposed to do it. And I've watched a couple of videos to refresh my memory on how to do a good French knot, and these two worked out a lot better than the first ones, but I wasn't about to rip those out. It was difficult enough to do them in the first place. So yeah, I'm really pleased with it. These are all DMC colours. This is 14 count Ada, and the colour I think was called Dirty. This is Wygart. And what more can I say? I stitched it 2/1 because it's Ada, and I'm really pleased with how the stitching turned out. As for the finishing, I have placed it, I've cut a piece of adhesive board, and I have cut some wadding, which you use for quilting. I think it's described as quilt batting. And what I did was I glued the quilt batting to the board, and I used Mod Podge glue, which is a wet glue. That was my mistake, or maybe my mistake actually was not letting the glue dry before putting the stitching onto the top of the wadding and trying to fit it all in place. I'm very impatient when I'm finishing things off, I've discovered, and so what I've done all of that and expected the glue to dry clear and, you know, not to have any issues. And what's happened is you can see the glue through the fabric. Here you can see that I was too impatient to wait for the glue to dry before then attaching the fabric. So lesson learned, and hopefully you guys who are new to stitching will learn also in terms of your finishing. Do not, if you're going to use wet glue, make sure the glue is fully dry before you attach your finished cross stitch piece to it, because otherwise you'll end up with a mess like I have. And I suppose from a distance you can't really see it so much, but when you get close up you can see where the glue came through, and I tried my hardest to wipe away the glue, and it didn't really, you can see here, it didn't budge, it wouldn't budge. So that's a lesson I've learned. I haven't done anything to the back just yet, so this bit is still sticky board, and I was thinking about just getting something and just covering the back, but I haven't quite decided how to finish it off yet. I'm also toying with the idea of using maybe like a ribbon of some sort and sticking that over the bottom to kind of hide the glue appearance, but I'm not sure. If you guys have any tips for how to kind of hide the glue on this finished piece, let me know in the comment section below. I think I'm just going to have to stick something over it, just over the edges, to kind of make it look a bit, you know, like it's decorative rather than a mistake. But I'm really pleased with how the stitching turned out. So the French knots, I think, were the newest thing to me. Yeah, I think my back stitching, I'm improving on my back stitching. I think it's a lot neater than it was before. So let me just give you a quick, this is a close-up. So I've got French knots on the eyes of the angels. I've got back stitching for the notes there. As I go up, you can see it's such a pretty piece. And that is it. So that is my Merry Christmas finish. So that's those. I'm really pleased with those. I'm just disappointed that I was so impatient with the finishing it off that I just didn't let the glue dry. So that is my own fault and I'm kicking myself for that. Next I have a pair of socks that I finished up. So we're on to knitting now. I finished up the zigzag socks. I think I started these in the last video. These are just ordinary toe up socks using the recipe that I used in the other pair that are very similar to this. I did end up playing yarn chicken and I finished off the leg bit before I ran out of yarn and then just used the contrasting cuff, which was short. I don't know why I did it so short actually, because I still have a little bit left, and I've done a heel flap gusset shaping, so nothing extraordinary about these. This is King Cole zigzag yarn in the colourway Ocean, and that is a pair of socks. I've also finished up, and I hadn't shown you this, so I have a lot of minis that I wanted to use up, and these are all these are a mixture of Craft House Magic minis and Back to Blighty yarns. And I really wanted to make an infinity scarf instead of the ordinary straight small cowl that is like this width. I wanted to make a doubled up infinity scarf, and I wanted to use the jute stitch that I used for the previous cowl that I made, and I wanted to use the minis. So this is what it looks like. So I think this one is, I can't tell you the different yarns because I haven't written them down, but it is all on my project page on Ravelry. I have listed them in order, but they are a mixture of, I think this, with the exception of this one, all of these are Craft House Magic minis. And they are nylon and merino based, superwash merino nylon based, 75-25. And yeah, basically it's just using the jute stitch, which I used on the other scarf, and I will try and show you what it looks like. I just wanted something that I could double up like this and give it to someone as a gift, and just be a nice warm scarf like that. And I'm really pleased with how it's turned out, and it's kind of making me think that I can do another one. I want to do a male version of an infinity scarf like this, but I need to think of what kind of pattern to use, because I don't think that the men in my life would like this kind of pattern. But yeah, I'm pleased with this. I'm pleased with how it turned out. And perhaps, let me see if I can quickly find it on my Ravelry page and share with you the yarns, seeing as we're here. Oh gosh, I haven't got it on there. That's annoying. I'm so sorry. I do have a list somewhere of the different yarns that I used. I'm going to have to find that piece of paper that had all the yarns written on it in order. But so I started. That's the bottom, and this is the finish. So it's just a garter stitch finish, top and bottom. And I think it was 320 stitches I used in total. I had to figure out the stitch count. I started off with way too many stitches, ended up having to rip it back after working quite a number of rounds because it was looking way too big, and then I went down to 320 stitches, and I feel that that's the right number to get it a doubled up scarf. So yeah, I'll try and remember to fill in the info box on Ravelry, or if you're interested and you're not on Ravelry, again, contact me in the comment section and I will zip the information across to you if you're interested in making something like that. So that was that finish. I think that's all of my finishes. Yeah, those are all of my finishes. Told you there was a lot. So now let's move into works in progress. So for works in progress, I have a couple of things. The first thing I want to share with you is some gloves. So I decided to try and make some gloves. A friend of mine, Emma, she gave me some pink yarn, and she also gave me some pink mohair yarn, and I've been trying to think of what to do with the mohair yarn, and in the end what I did do, this is Stylecraft 4-ply yarn, and I think it's got the colour raspberry, and I mixed it with mohair. So this is what I've done. I've put 2 strands together like this, and I've been knitting with it like that from the ball. And I've used a basic glove pattern. I've got it here. I think it's a free pattern on Ravelry. It's called Plain Basic Plain Gloves, and it's by Harry Wells. Yeah, Harry Wells, and I've annotated this, but that's the info. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I've done one glove, and I realised the fingers were so big. I mean, they just look massive, and this mohair gets everywhere. So anyway, so I did one glove, and although the fingers fit nicely, the thumb it's way too high out there. It's like a webbed thumb, and I'm wondering if that would fit my daughter, but I'm going to continue with it and finish the second glove and then modify the pattern slightly to make the thumb section a bit longer there. So I've started it, the second glove, but I've got like how you get second sock syndrome, I've got second glove syndrome. I'm really not feeling it at the moment. So that has been just sitting in my knitting teaspoon bag while I get my glove knitting mojo back. My next work in progress is a stocking. I think I showed the stocking as an incoming last video, and it was by Dimensions. It's Holiday Hooties, and that's what it looks like. And I've done this one, this bird, and I'm just about to start the second one. And it's not difficult, but because it's got quite a lot of detail in the pattern, and there's quite a lot of colour changes, it's taken a while, and this is what it is looking like. So this is on the 14 count Aida, I think. Yeah, 14 count light blue Aida, and I'm stitching 2/1. And the colours are Dimensions colours, they're not DMC, and I'm just using the kit that came with it. So I've done the back stitching. I decided to do the back stitching on, oh, you can't, do you know what, I've not taken, let me take the thing off. I've got it in a Q-snap frame, and I just forgot that I've not, that's where I'm at. I've done the top of the stocking here. So I've done all of this bit, all the top bit, and I'm working downwards. I've done the first bird, I've done all the back stitching on the first bird, and on the baubles, I need to do, I realised yesterday, because I was doing this at night, I need to do some little back stitches on the fluffy bit of the hat in a different colour thread. I'm not quite sure, because I was using a copied pattern, and it wasn't quite showing up when I used my highlighter to colour in the sections I completed. I then lost the info for the back stitching on the fluffy bit, so I have to refer to the original pattern to check what I'm supposed to be doing on that section. But I know there's stuff to do, back stitching on this bit to do to make it look and appear fluffier. So yeah, so I've done all the other back stitching otherwise along the leaves and stuff, and then I started on the hat for the second bird. So I'm really pleased with that. That's going along nicely, and I think I've only got now 2 cross stitch projects on the go. So my second one is the Heaven and Earth Designs Story Keep, which is Life is an Open Book London. I've left the actual packet downstairs. Let me see if I can find the picture on my Ravelry. Okay, to show you what it's going to look like. So that's what it's going to look like when it's complete, and I am actually up here. I'm working in the left section at the moment, very slowly because it's very detailed. This is the most detailed piece I've ever worked on. This is on 25 count Ada, and I'm working, not Ada, 25 count Lugana, Zweigart Lugana, and I'm working 1/1, and this is what it's looking like at the moment. So you can see I started off by doing parking, diagonal parking. If you check my Instagram, you'll see what I mean. I started off doing diagonal parking, and then I decided to do my parking after each block. So I did a block and then carried my threads down. Then I did a block and then a block and did it diagonally. And then because I started to see this block of colour come through, I thought, oh, let me just do this. Let me just finish this box here, or we'll finish that box there, to see, because there was loads of like black there. So I wanted to finish one box to see the picture coming to life. And then I started to just say, right, well, let me just finish up the threads that I've got. So I've been going a little bit cross country, I guess. I think that's what you call it. And yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. My my needle keeper is by Denkai Designs, and that is a gingerbread house, I think. I've got some other ones, but I'll show you them in incoming. But yeah, that's where I've got. I'm really enjoying this because I'm seeing the picture come to life. It's taken a while, and the stitches are really, really small, so it is quite difficult to see. But I sit here, I bought this new desk stand or lap stand, and where did I get it from? Lakeside Needlecraft, I think. And that came pretty quickly, and I've been just using that, and it just stands up so I can do stitching with two hands, so that makes it a little bit more of a speedy process. So yeah, so that is my that's my Heaven and Earth designs. Those are my whips, I think that's it for whips. No, I've got one more whip, and that is the socks. Right, so I started some scrappy socks using some leftover yarns that I have from Hedgerow Yarns, and I'm working these two in tandem, and I've decided to do it in a stripy manner, so I don't have a lot of these are all from minis, and so I don't have a lot of any one particular colour, so I'm striping them in the hope that somehow I will get a decent pair of socks out of them. I'll give more information, I think, in the next video as to the colourways that I'm using in these, but it is Hedgerow Yarns, and I think it's set 66. But then this odd purple lilac that I'm using here is from another set. So I think that's from the Giddy Yarns set here that I have as well. But yeah, I'm right at the beginning of these. I'm not sure how far I'm going to go before I start doing the heel, flap and gusset. Not quite sure what colour heel to start with and all that good stuff. So because it's going to be a scrappy sock, it's kind of off the cuff. It's just going to have to be ad hoc. But those are my works in progress. Now let's move into incoming. So last video I explained that I had some, what do you call it, stitchy kindness that was sent to me, and I didn't want to make that video too long, so I kind of didn't show it in that one. But I want to say a big thank you to Mandy, Solo Knitter on Instagram, for sending me a load of stitchy stuff. So I'm going to show you, she sent me some Ada, which I'm really grateful for. A great big bag of Ada, so I've got lots of different sizes and colours of Ada. I think this is pretty, oh, it's not, I was going to say it's similar to this one, but it's not. It's kind of a beige colour, which is quite nice. Haven't yet decided what I'm going to do with these, but I'm sure I can find something. I mean, that's big. That's a huge piece of fabric. So, yeah, I've got white, I've got cream, I've got another white, I think they're all 14 count, but I could be wrong. I have to do that one looks smaller. Maybe 14 and 16. But I've got loads of different Adas here to work with. So that was really, really nice because it means I don't have to buy any more Ada. So yeah, big thank you to Mandy for those. Then, as if that wasn't enough, she had some things that she was getting rid of, clearing out, and she just sent me a whole bundle of stuff. One of them is this gold collection, Dimensions Gold Collection kit. I think the Ada's not in it, but I'm sure I can find something amongst what I've got here to use for this one. And it's Lakeside Village Gold Collection, and that's what it looks like. Very detailed. It looks like a full coverage piece. Very ambitious for me, but I guess, I mean, if I'm doing a Haid, I should be able to do this, and it comes with all the colour cards. So yeah, I will be having a go at this one probably, not straight away, but at some point in the future. Then there was another one. There's a packet here, Garden Herbs. That looks like something I might want to try. I think there was 2 of these, but I can't show you the other one because it's just the pattern, it's not the image. So that's that one. Then there's a Disney Red Dwarfs, not Red Dwarfs, Red Dwarfs? The 7 Dwarfs. Why did I say Red Dwarfs? That's the 7 Dwarfs. I was looking at this and I thought, the colours are a little bit dull on this, so this is probably a project where if I do decide to start this, I'll probably substitute some of the colours for brighter colours, because to my memory the 7 Dwarfs were a lot more bright and cheerful in their colours, so I think I'd probably want to make a substitution, because the colours on the colour threads are all kind of not bright and cheerful colours, so I think I'd probably want to figure out how to substitute some of the colours on that. And then there's another one. I'm not sure that I want to do this one because it looks very difficult. This is The Last Supper. This looks very difficult and quite big probably. I haven't really looked at this one too much, but that one looks like it would be quite a challenge for me to do. It's quite big. And then she sent me some board to use for my projects, which is really, really handy. Actually, one of these might fit the Positivity Rules one. I have to check that. And a pattern for a cute little hedgehog. That's cute. And some table mats that are quite pretty. Not quite sure what I'd want to put on these, but I'll keep them until I've decided, because they are actual Ada. It looks like Ada fabric, so I can stitch onto them, so that'll be nice if I can figure out what I want to do with those. And also this lovely tablecloth. So she sent me this, and it's got the stitching, it's got the colours of the stitches on there printed on the fabric in flowers, and it's so pretty. I'm just trying to figure out how to stitch on it because it's so fine. The holes are so fine. I'm not sure what stitch count that is, but it's that would be really, really small. It looks like the stitches are 1, 2, hang on, 1, 2, 3. They're over 3 holes. Maybe not. 1, 2. Maybe it's 2 over 2. I just can't. I'm a beginner to cross stitching, so I can't quite tell what stitch count that is, but I think I would love to have a go at this because it's a nice little square tablecloth, but I'm sure that I could find someone to gift this to once I've stitched on it, or keep it for myself. But either way, I really like the idea of making a tablecloth. So big thank you to Mandy, this solo knitter, if you're watching. Thanks, Mandy. I'm really, really grateful for you sending me all of this good stuff to help me in my endeavours, my crafty endeavours, my cross-stitching endeavours even. I'm really, really pleased about all of that. So thank you so much for sending that. They will get some use. I just have to try and plan things properly so that I know what I'm doing and take my time as I've learned. So yeah, so that is it. That's what I've been up to. I don't have a lot of works in progress at the moment. I do have some that I haven't shown, but I haven't shown them because I haven't worked on them recently. I've been doing quite a bit of cross stitching. I've tried to do a little bit of knitting, and yeah, just generally been busy with the stitching, I guess. I've caught the stitchy bug, guys. I don't know what to say. I've caught the stitching bug. So yeah, I just remembered that I forgot to share a couple more incoming things that I have been buying. So I have bought the Sockers Rule from Instagram. This is a sock ruler, and you use it to measure out your socks, so you can get the length of your socks right. It's got the size, it's got the Kitchener stitch rule on here, it's got the shoe size measurements on here, on front and back, male and female, and it's just, I haven't used it yet, but I intend to use this because I thought it would come in handy, because I'm always trying to look up what size shoe to do for what person, and I thought having that might be useful. Also, I picked up some, what do you call these now? Needle minders. You've seen one, which was this one, the Gingerbread House by Denkai Designs. I've also got the Robin, also by Denkai Designs, and oh, that way even. And there's another one, but I don't know what I've done with it. There is a third one. I don't know what I've done with it. Maybe it's downstairs, or is it in here? Actually, it's probably in the kit. There it is. It's a deer. It's actually on the project. A little deer. I thought that was cute. I thought they were cute, so I picked those up from Denkai Designs, and they came very quickly. And here's her info. You can pause the video and check that out if you're inclined to. And what else? She always sends a little freebie with it. So I've got a ladybird that I may give away to somebody, a lucky viewer. If you're interested in winning the ladybird, just an impromptu giveaway. If you're interested in winning the ladybird needle minder, then in the comment section, make sure you include a comment that includes the word ladybird, and I will choose a winner for the ladybird needle minder. Anyway, so I wanted to get into long stitching. I saw a video on Facebook by Bothy Threads, and I'm starting to get intrigued in long stitching, and so I picked up, when I was ordering some other stuff, just a small kit to have a go at long stitching, this is an anchor kit, little dolphin, just to have a little go at long stitching. It looks to me similar to Tapestry, because I think this one uses wool, but you can get ones that use cotton, that use threads, like cross stitching. So yeah, I just wanted to have a go and see if I enjoy it, and so I picked up a little starter kit to have a little play around. You know me, guys, I like to jump down these rabbit holes. Oh, here's a better Denkai Designs card. Here we go. And that's for the needle minders. That is it. That's all I have to share with you. Hopefully you've enjoyed spending some time with me today, and it's not too long a video. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, give me some thumbs up. Leave me some comments in the comment section below the video. If you have any tips to share, do that in the comment section below the video. And yeah, if you want to share the projects that you've been working on, I'll leave my email address in the description box, so you can email me pictures of projects that you've been working on as well, because I think I'd like to see those. yeah, that is it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Do take care, and I will see you in around about a month's time. For those of you that are new, I tend to upload on a monthly basis because I like to have time to do my crafting, watch other podcasts, and I know that you guys watch other podcasts as well, and I figure that if I just do one video each month, then you should have ample opportunity to watch my one video as opposed to like one every single week or every day, whatever. So yeah, I try to stick to just once a month to give everyone time to catch up with me. So that is it. So see you in about a month's time, and happy stitching, sewing, knitting, crafting, whatever it is you do. Share in the comments section below the video what crafts you enjoy, all that good stuff, and I will see you next time. Bye.